Because a lot of them do come in here and eat, or we know their parents, but we have a host of people read, and we narrow it down, and then we read a little bit more until we come out with the winner. And then once our winners are declared, we do have them come in with their families, and we do a little like nice thing over on this side during the day for them with a meal and award them with like their check and their certificate from us.
Well, maybe whenever you do that, High Valley Sports can come over here and carry that live.
Oh, that might be a nice.
That.
Yeah, that might be an idea. I'll have to run that by. I can pretend that's my idea, not Pete's.
I like it. I like to run. I like to run with other people's ideas. It's the best thing to do.
We can pretend like I'm the smart one.
That's right. I appreciate that. Okay, that's going to do it here. We appreciate Aaron coming on. We're going to move on to Frank Sassini. Thanks again, Aaron, and we'll see you later on the show, I'm sure. Take a quick break. We'll be right back with Weir High head coach Frank Sassini.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Blakemore Insurance Agency is exclusive to the senior market. We represent a variety of Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage plans, giving us the ability to offer some of the most competitive products from the top insurance companies in our country. Our loyalty lies with you, our customer, not the insurance company. Many of today's seniors are completely overwhelmed with turning 65 and going on to Medicare. Call Blakemore Insurance Agency today for more information. 304-723-0909. Blakemore Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
All right, we're back here at Basil's Sports Bar. Head coach Frank Sassini, segment sponsored by Blakemore Insurance Agency. Saw you 2 weeks ago, Coach. You're 1-1 since that time. You lose a tough one at Union Local. You got a big bounce-back win against another state-ranked opponent. Briefly go over those two games for us.
Well, we went down Union Local, and we definitely, stumbled out of the blocks a little bit. I put that on me for not having them up and ready to roll. We kind of told them that we would have an issue going in there with the intensity that Union Local football plays, and we had an issue coming out and not getting really going offensively. Was a little bit of our Achilles heel, where we couldn't get some momentum going early, but we eventually established the run game with Corey Lyons as the game went on. That's been the story for us throughout the year. A lot of our run game is like the engine that keeps us going. So we definitely had some issues there on the field, but we could have put the game away there at the end. We had fumbled on the 10-yard line going in, and we'd be telling a different story right now. But we let them drive the field and get a opportunistic catch and run in. I think it was Dre Saunders went up and made a nice play, and I credit Union Local in their game plan, what they came up with in that one. But we stumbled down there, and we challenged the boys that we wanted to go ahead and make a statement and come back and show our resiliency. Whenever you face a loss throughout the year, that you want to see the character of your team and how they're going to come out and play from that moment forward. And we played a state-ranked opponent with Kaiser. And to have those kind of schools on your schedule like Union Local and Kaiser in this little 2-week span was something that we wanted to see to challenge us, and especially in the state of West Virginia. When I told you guys previously to the show that we want to be challenged with the state opponents to see where we're at statewide, and Kaiser football is a solid brand of football. They were ranked 12th in Double-A at that point when they'd come in. And our kids definitely responded, came out and played solid football, and once again had a strong run game again with what we were doing, and that was really the telltale of the whole game.
Yeah, your offensive line definitely owned the night. You guys totaled 402 yards, scored all 7 TDs on the ground. Corey Lyons at the 191 yards and 5 touchdowns. Quarterback Malachi Strohmile, 101 yards and a touchdown. But your team also played very, very well defensively and on special teams. You blocked a punt, I believe, and had a huge kickoff return from Colin G. Cross that night as well.
You're right, and you talk about the three phases, and we want to have that aspect part of our team to make it a run or have a solid year, is to have all those three phases clicking, and that's what happened in the game. So obviously our offensive line's been very strong this year, but defensively we're playing solid football as well, and we're still making some adjustments there, typical throughout the year. But special teams have been a major focus for us, and Coach Smith and Coach Bridges do definitely a great job with that, and we got a strong return from Colin Cross there, a.k.a. G Cross. You see him a lot in the basketball court, Coach. He definitely is a playmaker. We want to get the ball in his hands as much as we can. So to put him back there on kick returns was a big deal for us, and he was in a situation where he hit a little seam there, and not everyone would do that, but he did, and he set us up for some good field position throughout the night.
Right.
Coach, expand a little bit on what we talked about off camera for the audience out there about the challenges in the state of West Virginia just geographically presents in trying to get out and play Kaiser and the other schools that you're probably going to play in the tournament to get where you want to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes you have to move some teams off your schedule in the Valley because for us at Weirton, we want to get out and see some of our opponents throughout the state. But the drawback is the time that we travel. It could be 2, 3, 4 hours. That's the max that we'll do, and that's a lot of teams wouldn't even think about that. But we've been in a situation throughout the years. We've had relationships with teams in Eastern Panhandle such as Frankfort and Kaiser, and for us to go out and play those teams to see where we're at in the state of West Virginia. You always see the rankings when they come out, and you want to see comparable opponents once you get late in the season and how you're playing and what brand of football stacks up to the other teams. So for us, in our region and where we're at in the Northern Panhandle, there's only so many double-A opponents for us. And what's unique is we get some double-A equivalents. We start looking at enrollments with our Ohio schools and we start crossing the river, that we do get those double-A points. But to see a team that we could maybe face in the playoffs or someone that we can, compare to down the road is something we will look forward to. But, in a perfect world, we'd like to play the Fairmont area if we can, or the North Marions and the East Fairmonts and Clarksburg if we could. But for us, we're going to be the road dogs at times and end up out and about. And, unfortunately, it is what it is. But it's how the state of West Virginia is set up.
Yeah, teams are willing to play you, but they want you to come here. I'm sure, come to them. I'm sure, you know what I mean? And,
it's a 2-year contract.
It's important, yeah.
So what they do is a home and home. So it's fair for everybody. So they'll make the trip, and then we'll return next year. So unfortunately, we're going to have 2 trips out to the Eastern Panhandle.
And that comes into play in making up your schedule. How many times you want to hit the road like that.
Yes, and we try to do it, especially in the preseason, is to see how we travel. I mentioned you guys prior to the show that there's a production that goes on with the traveling, with hotel rooms and stuff. But we had scrimmaged North Marion through, I think it was our second scrimmage, and we wanted to see how we come off the bus and play, and how we warm up, those things like that. So you have the distances that's involved in the team meals and stuff, but you can end up in that scenario in the playoffs. So we want to try to sneak that in if we can, and possibly get a Saturday game would be great to build into your schedule, because sometimes you play a team in the playoffs that can end up in the bottom of West Virginia, and you could play on a Saturday afternoon like we did last year in Spencer, West Virginia versus Roan. So there's some things that you want to look at when you build your schedule, which I have a lot of leeway in, because they let me decide who we're going to play, where we're going, and I try to build it based off of the season and how it's going to look in the future, and where we may be down the road when it comes to opponents.
Well, I think Stevie Daly, he's been in the athletic director role before, and I think sometimes people don't understand. I mean, scheduling is an art because there's just so many things to take into consideration when you do it. You've touched on a little bit. Stevie, can you add anything to that?
I mean, it's a balancing act. You know, you want to challenge your team. You want to face opponents that are going to make you better as a team. When you do that, though, you also don't want to go too far above what your capabilities are. You know, being a small school AD, when I would schedule, I always looked at, okay, we can play up when roster numbers are comparable. You know, you start playing against teams that are going to dress 90 and you're only dressing 30. That doesn't make much sense. You know,
Right.
Then naturally you want to get teams, from your own division or what have you. But at the same time, if you've been successful the year before, that's tough too. Teams don't want to play you.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely a balancing act and a tough thing to pull off for sure.
Okay, it's the first segment here with Coach Frank Sassini. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about this upcoming week's opponent, Martins Ferry. We'll be right back.
Blakemore Insurance Agency is exclusive to the senior market. We represent a variety of Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage plans, giving us the ability to offer some of the most competitive products from the top insurance companies in our country. Our loyalty lies with you, our customer, not the insurance company. Many of today's seniors are completely overwhelmed with turning 65 and going on to Medicare. Call Blakemore Insurance Agency today for more information. 304-723-0909. Blakemore Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
All right, we're back here at Basel Sports Bar with Coach Frank Sassini. We're high on a roll, Coach, but you got a tough test this week, taking the show to Martins Ferry. Stevie Daly is going to update us on that.
Yeah, so Martins Ferry sits right now at 5-2. They opened the season with a 39-36 win over Shadyside. They were defeated in weeks 2 and 3 by St. Clairsville and Tusky Valley, two very good teams. 54-0 to St. Clairsville, 39-24 to Tusky Valley. Since then, they've won 4 straight over Fisher Catholic, 48-20. Newcomerstown, 41-31. Fairfield Christian, 36-7. And Byrne Union, 42-0. So in that 4-game win streak, they scored 167 points, or 41.75 points per game, giving up only 58 points in that span. For the season, they averaged just under 32 a game and give up 28 a game. They're led by quarterback Aiden Ludoff, who has thrown for 783 yards and 8 touchdowns and run for 702 and 10 touchdowns. Running back Tevin Williams, who has run for 973 yards and 12 touchdowns. And Caden Archer, defensive back wide receiver Turner Kroll, and a kid that I've watched on film, tight end defensive end, 6'6", 200-pound Alexander Reese. And he can be
Robbie Merriman brought in the funk, man.
He's pretty impressive. He anchors their defensive line and is a pretty good blocker from the tight end position. So, Coach, taking on the Purple Riders in Martins Ferry. Steeped in tradition down there.
Very steep in tradition. And Coach Brunifield, we've been down there, and we had a unfortunate scenario. We went down there and had a loss a couple years ago at that field. It's a difficult place to play.
Right.
But once again, going back to building that schedule, we knew going into that's something that we want to challenge our kids to do. The way they run the ball, the way we run the ball, the game should be over pretty quick, right?
Right.
But
right.
They do a tremendous job. When I say they, Coach Kropka and his staff, the veterans he has on that staff. I've got to mention all the names, but we know what we're getting into, the way they play football. Aiden Ludoff, dual threat, the way he runs, all the weapons you talked about, across the board. They're inexperienced up front, but the skill set they have and what they've been doing to teams the last 4 games has been impressive, the way that they've been putting points on the board and the way they score. We are definitely, in a situation where we are going to be challenged, and we're looking forward to it.
Right.
Read in the paper today, Coach Kropka made some comments about playing you at John Marshall and saw it coming. And, things go through cycles, and I think Martins Ferry has a cycle that they're coming through right now. Hard-hitting game, Coach. How's your health, man? You guys ready?
Yeah, it's your typical bumps and bruises. We have some kids that are definitely limited this week because of the amount of production that they're getting with touches and the way they run the ball, and especially in our backfield. So there are some limited reps in practice this week, but we'll be business as usual when it comes to tomorrow night. We definitely want to be in a situation where we want to kind of like rest our kids a little bit at this point, because our bye week comes in week 11 at Weir, so we don't have the luxury of having that bye week in the middle of the year. So it's unique because week 11 for us is right before the playoffs. So we have some kids that are dinged up a little bit, but we'll be ready to roll.
That's a good thing you get that week off there. I like that in West Virginia whenever you get that bye.
It's something that Coach Roberto had always done, and it made it unique because you can go out, and if you're in a playoff scenario, which I hope we're fortunate enough to be in, that you can actually hit the road and go. What I told you about, you can't just look up a team, but we can go and send coaches all around the state and go watch programs and who the matchups could be. So that's what's unique about that week 11, because there's some teams that we could face in the first round of the playoffs that are out there playing that we can go get our eyes on.
And it's so different to see a team live than on film. I was always advantage when I was at Steubenville Central with us playing Saturday. Sure, their coaches could come watch us too, but I always went and saw the opponent come up next live and in person.
Yeah,
you want to see that
coach.
Size, what that speed is.
And more importantly, when you're sitting there and doing the breakdowns, like, when you're watching on the huddle, it's the cut-ups, but you can actually see the personnel changes.
Right.
And that's a big thing for us to see, is who's on, who's off, when it happens, why it happens,
right,
and so on, which I don't have to explain to you guys. But that's one of the things you want to see when you get, and I always say the eyeball test, to see, the twitch and the movement and how they block and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, Coach, but we're not going to see you for 2 weeks, We told you we're going to go see we're already booked to the fact that we're going to come and do your East Liverpool game that you host. We're looking forward to that. But this is a different trend of schedule that you're coming into now, to finish out the year. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have obviously our game at Ferry. Then we'll go to Uniontown and play a team that came up to see us last year, Albert Gallatin, which is about an hour and 45 minutes away. And then we'll have an East Liverpool opponent that comes in based off of AAA, AA, and opponents are equivalents in single A. So we have some points that are still out there that we'll accumulate once teams we beat keep winning, and vice versa. If we can get teams that win ahead of us and then we beat them, we can accumulate. So we're sitting at 8, and we're hoping that we can move up into maybe the top 5 if we can do what we're supposed to do. But we're sitting right now in that spot, which is unique in West Virginia because you get the top 16 and the top 8 host and the top seed host throughout. So, we're if it started today, we'd be playing the 9 seed, which I believe would be Herbert Hoover if that was today. But like I said, we got a long way to go. We're talk a whole lot of playoffs, because we got a long way to go.
Absolutely. When you play in the playoffs, the last couple of weeks is whenever you build up those points anyway, and that's all the points are going to come in as well.
Right. They'll just keep accumulating and stacking based on who beats who, and we have a AAA opponent there at the end, and Albert Gallatin is actually AAA, so we have some points that are out there for us, and we're just going to worry about the next one, though. We're worried about Martin's Ferry football right now.
Martin's Ferry. I don't want to take your focus away from them. It was just the fact that we're not going to see you for 2 weeks. So I wanted to bring that up. Stevie, you got anything?
No, I think I got everything in here, Coach.
All right, Coach. Coach, I appreciate your time,
Coach,
man.
Thank you.
Always
Coach,
good to see you, Pazon.
Good luck this week.
I appreciate it. Good luck. It's Frank Cicini, head coach of Weir High, sponsored by Blackmore Insurance Agency. Billy Blakemore, my man, Billy Blakemore. All right, we'll be right back here with Coach Doug Taylor from Oak Glen after these messages.
Blakemore Insurance Agency is exclusive to the senior market. We represent a variety of Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage plans, giving us the ability to offer some of the most competitive products from the top insurance companies in our country. Our loyalty lies with you, our customer, not the insurance company. Many of today's seniors are completely overwhelmed with turning 65 and going on to Medicare. Call Blakemore Insurance Agency today for more information. 304-723-0909. Blakemore Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Okay, we're back here at Basil Sports Bar. It's a sponsor for Coach Doug Taylor and No Glenn. Thanks for coming in, Coach. Last time we seen you, you've been 1-1 since then. Let's talk about those two games. You got a big win coming out of the box after we saw you.
Yeah, and once again, that was nice to get that monkey off your back, and get that
Absolutely.
0 out of there. That game ended up being moved to start time twice due to the weather. We ended up leaving. It was dark in the morning when we left. We encountered rain before we got to the Maryland border on 68. It pretty much rained the entire game. But, I was really proud of the way the kids handled that, the adverse conditions, weather conditions. They maintained possession of the football. We had no turnovers in that game. Of course, with all the rain, it limited our offense. But we were able to move the ball on the ground against a very big Berkeley Springs team. But I was proud. The kids was happy to get that W, and it was a good ride home.
Yeah, it was a long trip you made, Coach. I feel for you making that ride, but like you said, you get the win, and it makes things a little bit easier coming home. You said a couple things. You ran the ball effectively against a big team, and you get your first win.
Yeah, I mean, we rushed for close to 300 yards for that game. Bad weather conditions. Of course, like I said, we went into the game plan earlier in the week, wanting to open up our passing game a little bit and throw, but once again, the weather kind of dictated what we could and couldn't do. We found some things that were working. We had 5 individuals score in that game, so we had 5 different people put the ball in the end zone.
That's special.
That's good for us. It's good for the camaraderie of the team. It's good for their self, and their self-esteem in the team. I think everybody was happy about it. But once again, we want to run the football anyway. I mean, that's why we went to that wing tee. We want to run. Throw off the play action, but they did a really good job. And once again, we set the tone for the opening kickoff. We talked last time I was here about our special teams. We took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. It was like an 80-yard run off of that. So that kind of set the tone for the whole game.
Right. It did. You played no turnovers. You said, right?
Yes, that's correct. We did not turn the ball over once. We fumbled once, but we didn't turn it over.
Now, Coach, you said that the game got delayed twice. Was there lightning or just with the amount of rain they just pushed it back?
It was supposed to have been earlier. It was supposed to have been a 7 o'clock start, so we moved it back to a 4 o'clock start. And then they were predicting flooding in the area, flooding. So, we wanted to get that game in. We didn't want to postpone it or whatever, so we moved it back to a 1 o'clock start. So for us to drive almost 4 hours.
So they brought it down.
Yeah, we kept bringing it back and back and back till we ended up getting there at 1 o'clock. But it worked out better for us. We were home before midnight. Kids were in their beds, so before Sundays. And that was even better for the coaches too. So.
Right.
Coach. I don't want to make light of it, but that is a big thing. You got a young team trying to get a win and get that first win. I mean, it does a lot for your confidence. Have you seen your practices and everything pick up because of that win, or your kids are still keeping an even keel?
Well, there's no doubt. When we came back Monday, we had a light practice Monday, but they came back, with a little bit more vigor than what they'd had. But like you say, it's a lot of that's personality, and how kids handle that, and it's part of the life and part of the learning football. You're not going to win every game. You got to be able to take the wins and the losses and come back and try to keep getting better and better and getting improvement each week. So that's what our focus has been. But the kids have really been good even the last this week here. We've had some good spirited practice. We're starting to develop a little bit more depth. We've moved some guys around, but once again. 1-5 is not where I want to be, not where they want to be, but we'd like to be 2-5 after this week.
Right.
You get beat last week and you're coming off a loss. Let's talk a little bit about that game with Robert C. Byrd.
Yeah, Robert C. Byrd. I talked to the newspaper. They were 0-4, and we told them, that record is deceiving because they've got beat by a good Bridgeport team that beat Brook last week. Mm-hmm. They got beat by a Fairmont team that beat the number 2 team or the number 1 team, North Marion, last week. So they played a really tough schedule. And just watching their film, I knew we were going to have a little bit of trouble up front. They've had some really active guys up front, a lot more size. They had a quarterback that they'd moved there as a freshman, and he'd played the game before, and you could just tell this kid had a little bit of juice, a little bit of wheels, and I knew we were going to have trouble with him. And the boot for us really caused us issues. They were a really good running team. We had to actually, take some chances to try to shut that run game down. And he was able to get the perimeter on us and hurt us. So it is what it is. We just got to learn from it, get better, and move on.
Yeah, and again, Coach, it seemed like, early on at least, first quarter or whatever, your kids hung tough and hung in there and battled them, kept it fairly close, I think, early on from if I'm, reading things right or seeing things right. But again, that size just kind of wore you down, I think.
Yeah, and I think what happened too, we were down 12-0, and we came back and got a drive and ended up scoring, and then we got them to jump off on a 2-point conversion or on an extra point. So we went for 2, got the 2-point. We had all the momentum. We were down 12-8. Their second play from scrimmage after the kickoff, which we had a nice kickoff coverage. We got them pinned down inside the 20. They went play action. Everybody bid up. They hit the kid in behind us. The next thing we know, they're setting at our 20-yard line first down. So we kind of lost that momentum.
Flipped the field.
Yeah, it really hurt us, and we were never able to recover after that. I mean, we had some drive. We was able to move the football. We just couldn't finish.
Right.
You're coming in week 7, Coach. How's your health? You guys banged up or just normal bumps and bruises?
Well, we have some normal bumps and bruises. We have some kids, that we're probably going to play one way this week, just for the simple fact being we want to try to develop a little bit of depth and get some of these young kids some more playing time. So we've moved some guys around. You're probably going to see a freshman fullback this week playing. It's not that our other starter, Anthony Burke, can't go. We just he's got a little injury he's dealing with. We're just going to play on one side of the football. If we need him on offense, we're playing. But other than that, we're pretty healthy.
What are your numbers, Coach?
We're still setting about close to 28 kids. You know what I mean? So, the thing I forgot to mention, I don't know how I did, but the last time we talked was, I think it was week 2. We lost our starting quarterback. We put a lot of time and effort into Wesley Mullish, big kid, 6'1", 215 pounds, could throw the ball, could run the football. We kind of encompassed that wing T offense around him, giving him the opportunity sometimes to run.
Right.
He went down. It doesn't. I can't tell you whether he's going to be back or not. But it is what it is. It forced us to take a sophomore who wasn't a quarterback, movement athlete, because I wanted to have the ball in one of our best athletes' hands every play. So he's done a really good job. Logan Murray is coming along. After today's practice, it was kind of funny because. We've run this route on how many times, and we've never hit it. I mean, we've either overthrown it, underthrown it, or whatever. And today was the first time we hit that thing in dead stride. And I said, that's it. Practice is over. It's over.
There you go.
The confidence is there. See, that's what we got to do. So they ended up on a high note. So, like he said, he is really developing well.
With the 28 guys, Coach, how's your numbers match up to the schedules that you're playing?
Well, I mean, I talked to Mr. Burt, was the athletic director, or actually Duke up at East Liverpool. This week we're talking about a JV game. Next week whether he's going to be able to play it. And he kind of made the comment. He said, "I'm not sure who did your schedule, but they didn't do you any favors." And you don't know what you're coming with. I mean, you have to look back at the middle school, and it's hard to get some teams to play. I mean, we've been beating on doors to teams that we think we can be a little more competitive with at the time when we're trying to build a program. We just can't get them to commit. But, like I said, the schedule is what it is. We've played a really tough schedule. We got a brutal game this week against, a AAA Brook team, and then we come right back next week with East Liverpool. So it doesn't get any easier.
Okay, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back and we'll talk about the Brook Bruins coming up.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
The Weirton law firm of Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair focuses on helping families plan for the future. The attorneys at Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair will help you with estate planning, protecting your assets from long-term nursing costs, and maximizing your income from oil and gas interests, giving your family peace of mind for the future and the ability to enjoy the benefits of your hard work. Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair also handles a variety of personal injury and wrongful death claims. Call Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair today at 304-748-3200 for your free consultation. Let's go Blue.
We're back here at Basil's Sports Bar. Coach Doug Taylor, Glenn, sponsored by Basil's Sports Bar. Coming up against the Brook Bruins. Stevie, bring us up to date on that.
Okay, so this week you travel to Brook. They're 3-3. They started off the year with 3 straight wins over Ripley, 48-0, Indian Creek 28-7, and University 14-9. They've now lost 3 straight to North Marion 35-6, Watkins Memorial 32-14, and Bridgeport, West Virginia 49-14. The Watkins Memorial game was one that Brook probably was in position, if they could make some plays, to possibly win, but were unable to. The Bridgeport game, they faced a team that absolutely loves to run the ball. I think they entered that game having only thrown 1 pass all year up to that point. Brook is a team that's led offensively by quarterback Braylon Sperringer. However, I do believe he's going to be out this week, I think, from what I read in the paper in the preview. He'll be replaced by his brother Ty, who I know that Coach Mack says is a little bit more of a runner. And defensively, they're led by defensive end Tyler Wise, who's a pretty good, solid player. So your thoughts on Brook going in?
You know, if I had to – I was thinking just the other day because I was talking to the team, and I said I can't think of one word to describe them. I mean, they are experienced. They've got good size. You know, they've got good skill. They're diverse on offense. They're aggressive on defense. I mean, they have one of the best teams, I think, in the Valley. You know, 2 of those 3 losses was against.
Don't talk yourself out of a win, Coach.
Well, I'm not. And, you know, I know when we go in that game, trust me, we're going to go in to win. But they lost to a number 1 North Marion team in Double A. They got beat by Bridgeport, which is probably the top 3 in Triple A. And Bridgeport runs that single wing offense, which you don't see. You know, it's hard to prepare for that. And like you said, they don't throw the football; they just run it straight at you. And we just talked in the off time about that type of football in that area. I mean, they just pound and ground.
I watched some film. I was able to get some huddle film on that particular game, the Bridgeport game, to look at some of what Bridgeport did, because I'm like, they only threw 1 pass going into that game, and I'm telling you, they can run it.
Yeah, man. Well, that's what I said. I mean, the Sperringer boy. I mean, yeah, I hope he's okay. Mm-hmm. But we played them last year, same situation. He was out. His brother came in, did a really good job for them. So, you know, it doesn't matter to us which one of those quarterbacks are. They're both equally talented. They just do things a little differently. But for us, you know, we're going to go in that game and try to, once I said, try to establish the run game. We've got, you know, we try to take our offense and just, I don't want to say dress it up, but we don't change our blocking schemes a whole lot. We just put people in different areas and actually give it a different look, and it forces you to play, you know, this and this instead of, you know, just a straight play. So, you know, we've done that this week. I think we've got a good offensive game plan. Whether it works or not, we'll find out. The kids are excited. You know, like I said, we're changing just a little bit of the blocking schemes on how things we do. But, you know, for the most part, we're going to go in that game and try to establish the run, keep their offense on the sideline and see if we can't win the turnover battle and see if we can't get out of there with the W.
Yeah, well, Coach, you said something I wanted to touch on, on the excitement of your team. I mean, in this type of game, no pep talks needed. Kids are ready, to play a rival like you have Oak Glen Brook. So I think you can rest assured your kids will be ready. It's just a matter of executing.
Yeah, I mean, we've played Brook since the inception of Brook High School in Oak Glen. I mean, it's been back in '69 or '68 when that rivalry started, and for the most part, Oak Glen's been on the bottom end of most of those games, but it still doesn't take away the fact that, hey, listen, you got to play 4 quarters. And if we go down there, anything can happen. You just got to keep playing hard. There's nothing, we talked about, the only thing you can have control over is what you do the next play. You can't do anything to change what happens. So you just got to move on. Whether it's something good, whether it's something bad, you got to move on and make sure when you're done with that play, you can look yourself in the mirror and say you gave your best and you played your hardest. And if you do that, we don't worry a whole lot about the individuals. We say if we work together as a team, the individual accolations will come. So we're going to go in that game with, like I say, with the idea of coming out there with a win. It's going to be a senior night for Brook. We understand that's going to be a little bit of a moment for them, but there's nothing the better to be able to come in as an underdog and get out of there with a W.
Right.
We wish you the best of luck, Coach. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Absolutely. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. And thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Coach Doug Taylor from Oak Glen, sponsored by Basil Sports Bar. Got the big one coming up against the Brook Bruins this week. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be coming right back with Coach Mac McLean from Brook.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Vinsurance. That's right, Vinsurance. Like the VIN in your car? That's no coincidence. Vinny Bologna has Vinsurance. For whatever it may be, Vinny can insure it. Luxury homes, vehicles, boats, they all need insurance, so why not Vinsure it? Nobody likes to pay more than they have to for insurance. So text or call Vinny for a free quote, 304-479-2928. Or better yet, stop in. Vinny is located at the bottom of the hill in Highland Hills in Follinsby. No more boring, bland, overpriced insurance. It's Vinsurance. Call Vinny today, 304-479-2928. That's Vinsurance, a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Okay, you heard our leader there, Jim Jagger Huggins, right there. That's his voice. We kept that on. Remind everybody he was the leader of Ohio Valley Sports Online. We're here with Coach Mac McLean from the Brook Bruins. 3-3, sponsored by Vince Bologna of Vinsurance. Coach.
Yes, sir.
3 wins, 3 losses.
Yeah.
I read in the paper today something that you can't deny, man. I mean, you're not losing to the Harding Bulldogs, man. You're getting beat by some good teams, man. And sometimes the other guys are better, but
yeah.
Did you help yourself, or or did you hurt yourself in the last couple weeks since we've seen you?
I would say last week Bridgeport did plenty to hurt us. That's for sure. The Watkins Memorial
Good team, man. It's a good team.
Oh, very good.
So was Watkins Memorial, though.
Yeah, Watkins Memorial stings a little bit more because if anybody watched the game, it was a close football game until the end, and they got up by 10. And like I was talking to my staff earlier this week, three snaps turned that into a blowout real quick.
Yeah.
We snapped one in the end zone. We threw a pick six, and then we got stuck in a situation where it was 4th and long, and we were at our own end, and we tried to force it, and we got another interception, and so it went from a very competitive football game to looking like it wasn't a very competitive football game real fast. But that's this game we coach. It's
amazing how it changes like that,
man.
It
can happen fast.
Batting an eye. I mean, you could be down like that. How's your team's morale, Coach?
After 3 losses in a row, they're not on top of the world, that's for sure. But we've been rallying them. We've been trying to tell them, we've lost to some quality opponents. I think the total record of those teams after our game was 20-4, and it's not going to get any easier. We got some big games coming up and against some big schools, and we can't feel sorry for ourselves because nobody's going to feel sorry for us. That's for sure.
Right. You got senior night coming up, and you got a lot of seniors.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be hard to watch that group go. I mean, you get close to all of them, but when there's that many of them and that many of them have played for so long, it's going to be weird not seeing them out there, not seeing them in the weight room this winter. But they're good kids. I hope they've had a positive experience, and I want to get them a W in their last trip out onto Paul Billiard Field.
Amen to that.
Right, Coach. Not to keep going back to that. I know you want to move on from it, but I mentioned to you before.
We won't let you move on right away, though, Coach.
I mentioned to you before we came on here, watching some of the film of that Bridgeport game, you guys moved the ball through the air on them at times. Some of the highlights showed that, you were able to move it between the 20s, fairly effectively.
Yeah.
Was that run style and their style of play, was it did it wear you down? Was it too much to overcome at some point?
It wears you down, and then losing Braylon when we did, it really hurt what we were doing well, which was throwing the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, his younger brother Ty is a very good quarterback, but he's still young and doesn't know all the reads, and he's a little bit more of a running quarterback than his brother is. So the passing game plan really took a bad hit when he went down, and I'm just glad that it wasn't as bad as it looked. It was a non-contact injury. He was rolling towards the sideline. He pulled up lane, grabbed his leg, and threw the ball up in the air and threw an interception. And I've seen enough of him. When he did that, I thought, oh my God, he just tore his knee. And luckily, it's just a tear in his quadricep. It's not major. We're going to sit him this week just precautionary.
Right.
He will be dressed. We're going to dress him. We're going to put him in pads at senior night, and he's been told, emergency situation, you might have to go out there and manage a game and hand the ball off. But I think it's better, especially with the 3 weeks following that we get him healthy and get him back to 100%.
Absolutely.
Coach, you talk about trying to get your kids to buy into the fact that you've got beaten by three good teams, strong record teams. Do you think mentally that your kids are ready to play now? Because you've been telling them that. Have they bought into that?
I think they've bought into that, and I think that what they've really bought into is the personal nature of the next 4 games. And we talk about the fact that I told them the other day. I said, you grow up and you stay in this valley, you're going to end up on workforces with these guys. You're going to end up going to work every day and running into these guys. I said, how do you want to talk about the last time you play in Oak Glen, a John Marshall, a Wheeling Park, or a Weirton? Because I know my senior year we lost to Weirton, and for a long time, their tailback, and why is his name slipping my mind right now? He would send me a yearly text after I became the head coach, and he'd remind me that back in Art Miller, he'd remind me that back in 1990,
Art Miller. He was a ball player.
Back in 1993, that his last go around with the Bruins, they came out on top, and I don't want my kids to have to experience that. Not like it's horrible. Art's a good guy. I don't know him that well, but he knows me well enough to rag me a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to tell you something, Coach, and going back to your days, I mean, those Brook Weir High games, they were monster games, man. I mean, they were really, really battles. I enjoyed them.
I remember after that game, and it was kind of an upset. I think we were supposed to beat them, and we came out of Jimmy Carey Stadium. We started down the road, and rocks started bouncing off the side of our bus. And I just remember sitting there thinking, well, they're throwing rocks at the bus. They just beat us. Like, why is this happening? But that's what it's about. That's what the history of this game in this area is about. And I'm not suggesting anybody throw rocks after the game, any of the games, but it's
They
just
might
one of those
anyway.
things. They may.
I had a chance last night to talk to Andrew Corner, and I relayed that story that we talked about. Whenever you came on, that we were happy for you. You got these 26 seniors. You were taking your lumps.
Yeah.
And then you saw them, you saw these 26 seniors coming, and you knew you were going to be good. I was trying to give Andrew some hope about it because he's a good man, and
Yes.
he's been down and out the last few years.
Yeah, and obviously I've been there, and if you do this long enough, you're going to end up there.
Everybody, hey, an old man named Dick Potts in basketball from River once told me, I think we was 10-10 on the season. He said, "It's just your turn in the bucket."
Yeah, and it is, and what people don't realize is like how personally like people take this job, and a person shows up and pays $6 to work or watch a high school football game, and they think that they're upset. Well, they should sit in my shoes in February, coming off of 0-10.
Yeah, when you're home talking to the couch and stuff like that,
when
trying to figure things out.
When you're just trying to fish and enjoy yourself, or sit in a tree stand and you're just sitting there just beating yourself up, and it's hard. It takes a toll on you, that's for sure. And but I know Andrew will turn things around. There's a lot of coaches, good coaches, that suffer through this, and they're able to turn it around if they just keep doing what's right and shut out all those other voices. Because in the end of the day, those people don't matter. People that matter are the kids that are in the uniform and the guys that are in the trenches with you and your coaching staff.
That's exactly what he said last night.
Exactly right, and I think that like coaches, we all have to keep that in mind because the kids are resilient. They'll bounce back. I think coaches hold it a little bit longer than the kids do, but nobody knows the life of a coach, the ups and downs, unless you've coached. And what always kills me about the Ohio Valley, I don't care where you go, you can walk into a gym or you can walk into a baseball field, and I could see Mac McLean over there, and I could say, "Hey, Coach, how you doing?" And 27 people turn around and look, you know what I mean, because they're coaching everything else, but not at the degree that we're going through, where we're living and dying for it.
I tell you that one of the weirdest things, and when I left Brook High School, I lived in Wheeling. I worked at St. Clairsville, and I got this job, and it scares me to death to grocery shop or anything or stop at a gas station, and not because I'm afraid for my safety, but I keep having people, and it happened to me the other day in Smith Oil. I walked in, and this guy walked by. He's about my age, and he goes, "Hey, Mac, how you doing? You still coaching?" And it's like, the only reason that guy knows who I am is because they put my ugly mug on TV every once in a while. My face is in the paper, and it's so many awkward encounters where it's like, "Hey, how you doing? I appreciate the support." And I probably sat next to the guy in homeroom. And I apologize if he's watching this thing that I didn't know who he was. When he walked out the door, I asked the clerk, I said, "Do you know that guy's name?" Because I know him. But
I've been there, done that, man.
Right. It's an interesting thing being a coach in a small area like this, and if anybody who wants to do this job, if they could take that drive with me from Brook County down to Marshall County after a lot of bad losses and some of the soul searching that goes on, they might reconsider it.
Well, like a coach, we all got friends all around the United States, man, and I tell you something. There's no place like a High Valley football. I mean, it's just. You don't want to say we take it way too serious because we'd be lying if we did. But I'll tell you, it's a challenge. I mean, it's a challenge to be involved.
And and I think one of the most important things, and one of the reasons that I've lasted just mentally as long as I have, is I got 3 built-in fans at home with my kids, and I got a wife at home that'll feel sorry for me on Friday night when I get home, and Saturday morning if I'm still laying in bed will tell me to get my butt up and get moving, and that's the kind of support system you need at home.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Okay, we're talking to Coach Mac McLean from the Brook Bruins. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back. Talk about this week's opponent, Oak Glen Golden Bears.
Vinsurance. That's right, Vinsurance. Like the VIN in your car? That's no coincidence. Vinny Bologna has Vinsurance. For whatever it may be, Vinny can insure it. Luxury homes, vehicles, boats, they all need insurance, so why not Vinsure it? Nobody likes to pay more than they have to for insurance. So text or call Vinny for a free quote. 304 479-2928. Or better yet, stop in. Vinny is located at the bottom of the hill in Highland Hills in Follinsby. No more boring, bland, overpriced insurance. It's Vinsurance. Call Vinny today, 304-479-2928. That's Vinsurance, a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Yeah, we're back here at Basil Sports Bar, filling up. Mac McClain walked in, and it's a whole bunch of people come in to follow you, Coach.
Oh, gosh.
You're good for business.
That's good. That's good.
We're going to talk about this week's opponent, Oak Glen. Stevie, what do you got?
Okay, so this week you host Oak Glen, 1-5. Their lone victory has come over Berkeley Springs, 42-0. Their losses have come to Weir, 38-7, St. Mary's, 45-13, Edison, 34-0, and Toronto, 41-21. Last week to Robert C. Byrd, 44-8. Oak Glen is another run-heavy team. Yeah. They've only thrown, I believe, about 35 passes on the year. Their rushing attack is led by Aiden Flowers and Anthony Burt and quarterback Logan Murray. Defensively, Oak Glen has some solid players at each level of their defense. Up front, defensive tackle Cameron Ebrock, defensive end Greg Sowers, middle linebacker Evan Clauston, and defensive back Aiden Flowers. I've watched Oak Glen in a lot of these games, and they're competitive early on.
Yeah.
They fight and claw, and they hang in there early on in games. So I'm sure you've seen the same thing, Coach. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're seeing them playing early, and everything that I've seen about them is a testament to their coaching. I think they're solidly coached. I think Coach Taylor does a great job up there, and it's one of those things where. And I've been in that position where you have 4 or 5 good pieces, and it's figuring out how to make the most out of the other ones, and they're going to figure it out. And I think that they're a dangerous football team. I told my kids today, I said, you better forget about the record. I said, you better forget about the record of the team this week, and you better forget about the record of the team next week. I said, because if you take them lightly, we're going to find ourselves in a dogfight down over the hill tomorrow night. We need to show up. We need to do what we do well, which is, well, except for against Bridgeport, is stopping the run. I said, we got to catch the ball. We're starting our backup quarterback, and we can't tiptoe into this game, or we're going to be very, very disappointed. And at the end of the day, we're coaching a bunch of boys. We're coaching a bunch of kids, and they're emotional. And if they get Mo on their shoulders, anything can happen, and that's why we're going to play the game tomorrow night.
Right.
You put that well, Coach, about you're coaching. We coach these young men, and they can be influenced by the outside noise.
Yes.
And that's a big fear. I know that all coaches come in because you give everybody, you don't disrespect anybody. You give them respect. Yeah. But that record of 1-5, the kids look at it. I mean, I got 2 nephews playing football now, and when I talk to them on the phone, how's this team look? And I say to myself, oh my God, what I mean? Yep. You hope that stuff is not like a cancer that moves through your team, and it's something you definitely got to concern yourself with.
I had somebody say to me the other day, well, we'll get back on track this week, and then we can get ready for John Marshall, and they've only won 1 football game. I said, hey, hold up. Right. Hold up. First of all, we got to take care of Oak Glen. And then looking ahead to John Marshall, what's going on down there right now. Has anybody taken a look at the schedule that they're playing down there right now?
Means a lot. Means a lot.
Parkersburg South, University, Bridgeport on their schedule down there. I mean, I think they're a lot better than their record indicates. I think that they've just ran into some pretty top-notch competition. And but like I said, first thing we got to do, we got to worry about Oak Glen. And right now I'm worried about getting the first stop, and I'm worried about getting the first down. And then we're going to go from there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we sit here, we talk to Coach Taylor, and he sits at 1-5, and I barely know the man, but I'll tell you, he doesn't give me the impression that they're 1-5. I mean, he's still upbeat. He believes in his football team, and as coaches, you respect that.
And that's a hard thing to do, to maintain that mindset. I mean, I'm a guy that went 0-10 one year, and you got to show up and you got to pick everybody up, because that's your job, and you got to show them, even though you're 0-9 and you're going into the 10th game, you got to, by Wednesday, you got to be convinced that you'll beat the Steelers if they show up on the other sideline, and if you can't convince convince yourself of that, then you don't have any business in this job.
Well, going back to Andrew Connor. I mean, Andrew Connor is so upbeat. I mean, he's getting his brains beat in every week, and he's upbeat, and I think that's part of the job.
Yeah.
To maintain that mental toughness, because all the teams are an extension of the coach, or you hope that they are. And the worst thing that a coach could have is a feeling that his kids quit on him.
Yes.
So Andrew's not there yet. But that's what I'm saying about Coach Taylor. I mean, you talk to him, you don't know if he's 1-5 or 5-1.
Yeah, and sometimes I think,
and that's a credit to him. I'm sorry.
I think sometimes you gotta play the devil's advocate as the head coach. You mentally and emotionally got to go in the opposite direction of where your team's going. I mean, if they're flying high and their heads are all big, you got to go to practice and you got to be that bad cop. You got to yell at everybody when they're getting trophies and everybody's patting them on the back, and when everybody's down, you got to come in and show them some hope. And I think the good ones do that. I think Andrew does that. I think Coach Taylor does that.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed talking to you.
It. Thank you.
Coach Mac McLean, 3-3. Brook Bruins got the Oak Glen Golden Bears this week. Senior night. Pass on our best wishes to the quarterback who's hurt. His brother's going to play. Wish him well for us. And this is Ohio Valley Sports Online from Basil Sports Bar. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Vinsurance. That's right, Vinsurance. Like the VIN in your car? That's no coincidence. Vinny Bologna has Vinsurance. For whatever it may be, Vinny can insure it. Luxury homes, vehicles, boats, they all need insurance, so why not Vinsure it? Nobody likes to pay more than they have to for insurance. So text or call Vinny for a free quote, 304-479-2928. Or better yet, stop in. Vinny is located at the bottom of the hill in Highland Hills in Follinsby. No more boring, bland, overpriced insurance. It's Vinsurance. Call Vinny today, 304-479-2928. That's Vinsurance, a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Blakemore Insurance Agency is exclusive to the senior market. We represent a variety of Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage plans, giving us the ability to offer some of the most competitive products from the top insurance companies in our country. Our loyalty lies with you, our customer, not the insurance company. Many of today's seniors are completely overwhelmed with turning 65 and going on to Medicare. Call Blakemore Insurance Agency today for more information. 304-723-0909. Blakemore Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
The Weirton Law Firm of Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair focuses on helping families plan for the future. The attorneys at Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair will help you with estate planning, protecting your assets from long-term nursing costs, and maximizing your income from oil and gas interest, giving your family peace of mind for the future and the ability to enjoy the benefits of your hard work. Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair also handles a variety of personal injury and wrongful death claims. Call Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair today at 304-748-3200 for your free consultation. Let's go Blue.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Blakemore Insurance Agency is exclusive to the senior market. We represent a variety of Medicare supplements or Medicare Advantage plans, giving us the ability to offer some of the most competitive products from the top insurance companies in our country. Our loyalty lies with you, our customer, not the insurance company. Many of today's seniors are completely overwhelmed with turning 65 and going on to Medicare. Call Blakemore Insurance Agency today for more information. 304-723-0909. Blakemore Insurance Agency is a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
All right, we're back here at Basel Sports Bar, Ohio Valley Sports Online. Stevie Daly, Danny Vogel, Ray Suckoch. We're joined by Madonna head coach Troy Fetty. This segment brought to you by the law firm of Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair. Coach, been a couple weeks since we've seen you. 2 big losses to tough teams, Coach. I mean, you guys aren't playing the Grant Tigers. Let's talk about both those games a little bit and break them down to it any way you want.
Well,
Coach.
we'll start with Steubenville Central. You know, we wanted to match the physicality. They stayed in that single wing and just ran it right at us. We were making plays. You know, we thought we'd give them a 3-yard loss. They got a 5-yard gain. You know, we're right in there making plays, and we had a chance there in the third quarter. We got it down inside the 10, and we maybe punch it in there, maybe change the complexion of the game. But you know, we can't shoot ourselves in the foot. That came down to mainly mistakes, and we got to be a little more physical at times. Kids battled very hard, and then we loaded up against Cameron, and they just beat us in every phase of the game. They're very good. The Eclipse Wallace kid, the running back, is a load to handle. We missed way too many tackles against them. We were there to make plays, and we didn't make plays, and then we didn't do anything on offense. And that's been the theme for the last 2.5 games. That's on me to get better.
I was surprised. I was surprised a little bit against Central. I knew that they were a good football team. I was surprised that you couldn't get nothing going. I think I even said on the air I liked Littleton and I liked Muzzy. I mean, you know, I thought them guys were going to bust one out against the Crusaders, but they pretty much held you in check.
We kept chipping and chipping. We got the one drive there where we were moving the ball. We got a big play. They got a penalty. We were chipping. We just never busted out, like you said. We never got it into space. We had a nice play with Colton Griskovich on a slant pass. We just couldn't protect very much, and we didn't move. We were sporadic on the offensive line. We hopefully got those situations fixed for this week.
Now, Coach, and just you know, even going back to the Toronto game, your last 3 opponents are combined 17-2.
Yeah, you know,
I mean that's a tough 3-game stretch.
Yes, sir.
We pulled it. You know, we pulled up. We said this stretch of games right here, those 3 will be the toughest, and then Bellsville is coming out at 5-2. So we have like 4 games in a row where we got a murderer's row of teams. We started off good, and then we got to improve better to get a better start. We have to start faster. We have to get some offensive continuity. Well, hopefully we'll get some of that back because Jonah McKay is coming back. You know, another skilled athlete. But we do have the Muzzy kid. Luca will be out again this week, unfortunately. He'll be back soon. But
what's wrong with him, Coach?
He has his knees tweaked up pretty bad, so he's not going to be able to play again this week.
Well, your numbers, you don't have a lot of numbers, Coach. Are injuries playing a part in what you're doing now?
Right, we're down to 19, and we are going to address 18. So, you know, we're one away, but you know that's a big one. You know, he's a vital part of our team. Everybody is, but you know, 18 is the most kids we've dressed all year.
How's your kids' attitude, Coach?
Pretty good. You know, down in the dumps a little bit, but it's homecoming week, so that brings a lot of joy and fun to the week. And we've had a really crazy week of practice. I've been sick. I actually passed out of practice on Monday and was escorted off by the EMTs.
Oh, my goodness.
We have some flu going around. We have 4 or 5 kids miss, but we've had the last 2 days been very excellent. Everybody's been there. It's just been a wild, crazy week, and then throw homecoming festivities on top of that. You know, I just left our parade and the pep rally for it. Gym's full of people, and it's a big day. It's fun. Homecoming is one of my favorites for being a head coach.
How you feeling, Coach?
I feel much better today. It's the best day I felt. A little bit of flu, a little dehydration, not sleeping, trying to fix problems, and don't let it creep up on you because I was.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself.
Yes, sir.
You got to take care of yourself.
Yep.
You got to drink them fluids,
yes,
man.
Sir.
That's no joke there, man. I get concerned about. Coaches have enough to worry about, you know. And I remember the times. I don't know whether it was related to the basketball tournament coming up, or stress or what. But every basketball season, the month of February, I got sick. I mean, like you could set your clock. You could set your clock to me that I was going to get sick the month of February, and I never knew what it was. And I mean physically sick, and it's a combination of the hours that you put in, the stress that's on your mind, and everything else. Just having a life, a wife and children, and those affected. Everything was concerned about that. So take care of yourself.
This
Coach.
is exactly when I get sick every year for the last 15 years.
There you go, man. You're on a routine.
Yeah, so I knew I was going to be sick, and then it just was worse than I was. And I scared the kids, I scared myself, scared everybody. But shout out to Weird Medical emergency staff. They took care of me. Great people there. Our administration got some help for me too. So my staff picked it up for last they rest of practice there on Monday. So we overcome, adapt and overcome. That's what
Absolutely, like the Marines.
Yes, sir.
Like the Marines. Coach, so you had a lot of faith in and confidence in your coaches to carry out the game plan, right?
Yeah, yes, I do. TJ Miller's really coming along as defensive coordinator. He's getting more and more where I don't have to, be on top of him as much as, I hate to say that, that's not really what it means. Be as much input. And then the other two guys, my other three guys are coming along. Tom Kasich's excellent, and then
no, he's not. Come on,
he's listening.
Pumping him up, man.
He's sick tonight. He's sick today too, so he's going to be watching. So shout out, Tom. We'll see you tomorrow. Get ready to play.
Yeah, Tom, that's it. Yeah, have another cocktail, buddy.
Yeah. So then John Barnhart and Dave Bowden are coming along. They're younger coaches or inexperienced coaches. So it's a learning process. I'm coaching the coaches. We're coaching. I'm coaching the kids. And, we're just trying to get what we want out of it, and then, just have some success. A win will be humongous for us, get us back on track. A lot of good feelings that, we want to win homecoming for sure.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You just said something that brought me back to my days, and I love it, Coach. And you're one of my favorite people because you said it. Coach your coaches, man. I mean, it's something that you have to do, man, because not only is your team an extension of you, but so are your coaches. You don't want them to be yes men. You want them to be able to give you positive feedback, but you want them to be on the same page as you. So coach your coaches is something that I always say.
Yeah, that's huge at every level.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, we're going to talk about this big week of homecoming and your upcoming opponent here. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Troy Fetty for the Madonna Blue Dons.
The Weirton Law Firm of Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair focuses on helping families plan for the future. The attorneys at Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair will help you with estate planning, protecting your assets from long-term nursing costs, and maximizing your income from oil and gas interest, giving your family peace of mind for the future and the ability to enjoy the benefits of your hard work. Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair also handles a variety of personal injury and wrongful death claims. Call Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair today at 304-748-3200 for your free consultation. Let's go Blue.
This broadcast is brought to you by Ohio Valley Sports Online, your sports authority. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instantly notified when we go live on our next broadcast, only on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
We're back here at Basel Sports Bar, Ohio Valley Sports Online. Coach Troy Fetty brought to you by the law firm of Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair. Coach, good to hear you say you're feeling better, but homecoming week is special. Tell us some of the activities that before Stevie goes into your this week's opponent. Tell us the little things about the Madonna got going on for homecoming.
At the last period of every day, they had some kind of challenge. It was kickball Monday, volleyball Tuesday, Wednesday was like a trivia contest or something like that, and then today was Name That Tune. So I guess our junior class is really doing really well in their competition. Then we had the parade today, so we had a little parade, and then we have the school pep rally, and every class does a skit, and then they name the king, and they pick cupcakes this year. So if you get the magic cupcake with pudding in it, you're the king. So they haven't done that yet. I'd leave come down here. I have 3 football players, Luca Muzzy, Chase Littleton, and Jonah McKay are on the court, so it's 3 out of the 5, so I think we should have a good chance of winning.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, good to hear. Homecoming's a good thing. Gets a lot of school spirit going. Hope that carries into this game here. Stevie, who's he got?
Well, they take on Bellsville this week. They enter the game at 5-2. They've defeated Millersport 41-14, Frontier 25-13, 100 14-8, Clay Battelle 34-31, and Valley Wetzel 36-30 in overtime. Their losses have come to Newcomerstown 27-0, and last week to Bridgeport 49-39. They're averaging 27 points a game. They allow 24.6 points per game. They're led by quarterback Garrett Perkins, running back Connor Hagan. In the Bridgeport game last week, Bellsville actually led 21-7 early, but gave up 36 unanswered points. They struggled to get anything going through the air, going 2 for 13 for 18 yards, but they did rush for 319 yards with Perkins and Hagan leading the way. So your thoughts on a Bellsville team that seems to be a heavy run team?
They are.
From what everything else I've seen as well.
It's like 80% run, and it's out of an I formation with 3 linemen to the right and tight end to the left, so kind of a weird unbalanced. I went scouting against Valley, and what an exciting high school game that was. It was super fun. But the quarterback, number 5 and number 45, Hagan, they are real deal. He deals it pretty good. They run triple, dive, option all the time, and we got to contain. Assignment football, line up, and be physical, and we got to get him down. He's a big kid. He's about 195 pounds. He looks like one of our linemen.
Right.
And then the quarterback's about 192, I guess. He runs pretty well. He deals it pretty good. They have a really good line, and defensively they're going to challenge. They're going to put they're getting bear front, they're 5 front with a linebacker for Hagan's going to run around and keep him free and let him run. And he's the only one that blitzes, and then they play man defense.
Now you bring up playing assignment football and so on and so forth. Triple option was something I always wanted to do because teams didn't see it very often. Gave them something different they had to prepare for. But the biggest thing or advantage I always thought was it's tough to run it in practice with your scout team. How have you adjusted to that?
I was the scout team quarterback.
Okay.
I agree. When I went to at OU as an equipment manager for Jim Grove, I know how to run triple.
It's a great offense. It really is. But, that's tough. You have somebody in yourself or if you have somebody on staff that can run it, that's definitely a bonus, getting your team prepared to face that.
The good thing is we start seeing the triple and the option plays on the first day of practice because it's part of our thing. So we got A-gap run, B-gap run, C-gap run, option.
Right.
So we started from day one. So it's not like a week of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how we structure it may be different.
Right.
But, we have a quarterback player, we have a pitch player, and we have dive players.
Right.
And they got to do it. And that's it. We got tackle, short tackle, and get to where you're going to be.
Right.
Coach, you got anything special offensively this week to try and get your offense jump-started?
Yeah, we're going to get Jonah McKay the ball.
There you go, man. I like it. Keep it simple.
We get to move Colton back to where he belongs on the outside a little bit. Logan Feddick, he came back. He was healthy for the Cameron game, so we have a big tight end type, so we get some more continuity instead of being open spread all the time. Matt Gear's going to be a big part of this, and Chase Littleton. We got to pound the ball. We got to go forward, man block. And it's a man-on-man thing. There's 5 guys over top of our 5 guys, and we got to go. We got to push them around.
I like it. Keep it simple.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I cut out, I tried to be an offensive genius. I cut out about 75% of the offense. I took the 6 or 7 plays we do well and the 3 passing plays that we love, and we're just going to run those. So, sometimes you try to outsmart yourself as a coach.
I agree with that totally. I think sometimes coaches, we try and outcoach ourselves, and we overcoach instead of keeping it simple. I like what you're doing. I wish you the best of luck. Good health, Coach.
Thank
Take
you,
care
sir.
of you. Take care
Appreciate
of yourself,
everybody.
man.
Good luck this week, Coach.
Yes, thank you very much.
See you in 2 weeks,
Yes,
Coach.
sir.
Good luck. Get us 2 wins.
Yeah, that'll be senior night, so it'll be another big fun week.
Beautiful. Troy Fetty for the Madonna Blue Dawn, sponsored by Rokiski, McCune, Will Harmon, Blair. Big week this week, homecoming against Bellsville. Wish you the best of luck. We'll be right back after this quick break.
The Weirton Law Firm of Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair focuses on helping families plan for the future. The attorneys at Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair will help you with estate planning, protecting your assets from long-term nursing costs, and maximizing your income from oil and gas interest, giving your family peace of mind for the future and the ability to enjoy the benefits of your hard work. Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair also handles a variety of personal injury and wrongful death claims. Call Rokiski, McCune, Wilharm, and Blair today at 304-748-3200 for your free consultation. Let's go blue. Vinsurance. That's right, Vinsurance. Like the VIN in your car? That's no coincidence. Vinny Bologna has Vinsurance. For whatever it may be, Vinny can insure it. Luxury homes, vehicles, boats, they all need insurance, so why not Vinsure it? Nobody likes to pay more than they have to for insurance. So text or call Vinny for a free quote, 304-479-2928. Or better yet, stop in. Vinny is located at the bottom of the hill in Highland Hills in Follinsby. No more boring, bland, overpriced insurance. It's Vinsurance. Call Vinny today, 304-479-2928. That's Vinsurance, a proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Are you looking for a place to watch live sports events with your friends and family? Look no further than Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. At Basil's, we pride ourselves on providing a friendly atmosphere where you can come as a fan and leave as a friend. Our small family-owned business specializes in fresh foods made daily, and we proudly serve craft beers from around the Ohio Valley. We display sports memorabilia from teams all over the valley, making Basil's the perfect spot for sports fans of all kinds. Whether you're cheering on your favorite team or just looking for a great meal and a pint of beer, Basil's has got you covered. So come on down to Basil's Sports Bar and Grill in Weirton. We're highly recommended by locals, and we can't wait to welcome you as our newest friend. A proud sponsor of this broadcast.
Okay, we're back here at Basil's Sports Bar with our host, Aaron. Aaron's going to tell us what we're going to eat tonight.
All right, well, tonight you guys got some wings. We got a 1-pound basket of wings with garlic parm. It's made with a mild sauce. You have some ranch and celery. I do believe that's one of your guys's. We have a burger, our All-American burger. It's one of our burgers I was talking about earlier. It comes with lettuce, tomato, and onion, and the house-made chips. This is our own French onion dip that we have. It's really, really good.
Love it.
You could get a house salad, which I might eat here in a little bit. Our ranch is homemade, so I got some of that because I think I like that.
I like that. That looks good.
My friend over here's got some tater tots that are looking
He's
pretty
not
good.
sharing.
I've been
He's
picking
not.
at him.
He's
I'm
he's
not.
pulling them
not
over.
sharing.
Don't let anybody have any. He's hiding them. And I think it looks like you got mild, just regular
Yes,
mild. Is that
just
what you got?
mild,
Yeah.
yep,
So our wings come in 1 pound, so this would be our 1-pound basket. And then they move in increments of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could get 8, 16, 24, 32.
Wings are your biggest seller?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they are, and then one day it's hot dogs all night long, or one day it's just sandwiches. Like
Good for the scholarship.
Yes, it's just. I think it just depends on where people are coming from when they're done with whatever it is they're doing, or what they're in the mood for that night.
Great crowd tonight, man. We come in, the lot was full. High Valley Sports Online. We're building the business, man. Here we go. We like it. Aaron, thanks for everything as usual.
Thank
Great
you.
host
It was
again.
great. Yeah, it was
Thank
fun.
you so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
So High Valley Sports Online, live from Basil Sports Bar with the West Virginia Coaches Show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Friday night, Big Red Alder Dice game. Saturday night, Central hosting Bridgeport. Here we go. Okay, thanks again.